flash of red, she took off and kept running, even with us calling and chasing her. She ran as fast as the wind. We lost sight of her, and she ran through the woods behind our house. She always came back after her fruitless goose chases, and she never gave up, even when she got older and arthritis moved into her joints. One day, Jeannie asked, "Doesn't she realize she's not going to catch them? Why does she keep running so hard? It's got to hurt." I thought a minute. I don't think it's about catching them. I think they're a guide. For what? Maybe it's about getting to the other side of the horizon, I said. Maybe if we can get there, we can leave this world behind and know peace. What? Like heaven? If only, Jeannie said. A few years later, Jeannie was diagnosed with breast cancer. After having a mastectomy and enduring chemotherapy, she was declared cancer-free. We kept our fingers crossed. A year later, Ruby died, with no indication that anything was wrong. She simply dropped dead. In fact, the day before, she'd run after the geese that flew by. Jeannie and I had seen other dogs get sick and die. We knew how ugly things could get, protracted and painful. But like with everything else involving Ruby, she did it her way. There was no lingering or suffering. She just blew past all that. Occasionally, Jeannie and I talked about Ruby's life and death. Jeannie would say, "Maybe Ruby wanted to make sure she knew the route to take. You know, to get to heaven." Jeannie had never been a big believer in religion, but having cancer changed things. A few years later, Jeannie's cancer came back. It was now an aggressive killer. All the treatments failed. On the afternoon she started hospice, I found Jeannie standing at the window. She always had to see nature. Without turning, she said, "I haven't seen any flying geese in a long time." She was right. We'd been having a brutally hot summer, and the geese that were still around were hunkered down at the river, trying to stay cool. She said, "If Ruby were here, she'd find the geese, and she'd make them fly. Then I'd know which way to go." The next morning, with Jeannie in a wheelchair, we went for a walk. It was early, around 6:30. Though there's light in the sky then, there are many more shadows, and maybe a hint of surprise. I walked Jeannie through the garden and stopped at the edge of a large, wide lawn. I situated the wheelchair so Jeannie would have a view of the distant horizon as it changed colors from dark indigo blue to a softer daytime hue. Taking a seat next to her, I took her hand and stared at the horizon. I was wishing, hoping, and praying. Then it came, a noise from behind, far at first, then closer, a rhythmic whooshing sound. Geese flew so close over our heads that we could have reached up and touched their goose-down bellies. Softly, Jeannie said, "Ruby." The geese flew into the most peaceful of early morning blues. Behind, in the eastern sky, the direction from which the geese had come, the sun had burst into the sky. It came in with startling color, oranges, yellows, and reds. But would anyone argue if I said I saw some chestnut sprinkled in? David Weiskircher.
2. Love at First Sight. Dogs have a way of finding the people who need them, filling an emptiness we don't even know we have. Tom Jones. I grew up in the city, so moving to the country with my fiancé Dylan was a challenge. He was working away from home 2 weeks at a time. I had a cat I loved, but I wanted the companionship of a dog. However, I still worked in the city and was gone from home at least 10 hours a day. It would be irresponsible to get a dog. So I did what many people do when they are a bit lonely and can't have a dog. I started volunteering at the local Humane Society. I wanted to interact with the dogs, but with my work schedule and experience, the volunteer coordinator